This video is all about river management strategies, particularly focusing on hard engineering strategies. You need to know the cost and benefits of the following four strategies I'm going to talk you through. We'll first start with dams and reservoirs. Now, dams are large barriers that are built across rivers to block the flow of water, and obviously behind that, it then creates that excess of water, which is known as a reservoir. The water is released gradually through controlled gates, so when the river is lower, they'll open the gates, and when it's high, they will close the gates. Now, there's many benefits to this. Dams obviously prevent flooding downstream as they store that water. Water storage, the reservoirs provide water for domestic, industrial, and even agricultural use. Dams can generate renewable energy by harnessing the flow of water, and we know this is hydroelectric power, HEP, and then also recreational use. Reservoirs can provide opportunities for activities such as boating, fishing, and tourism. However, there are costs, and here we're not talking about a cost in terms of a monetary value, but more as such as a disadvantage. They're expensive, they displace people in order for that to happen. You have to flood the land, and they can disrupt ecosystems, especially for migration of fish, particularly like salmon. Channel straightening then involves altering the course of a river. And usually it's by removing meanders. So you can see from the picture here, we've removed the meanders to create a straighter, more faster flow. The major benefit of this is it speeds up the flow of water, which allows it to move quickly past vulnerable areas, which reduces the risk of flooding, and it can also improve navigation for boats and ships. In terms of costs, it can also increase the flood risk downstream because that water is moving so much faster. It might not necessarily be absorbed as quicker, and therefore it can cause flooding downstream. In terms of the environment, it disrupts ecosystems and also can lead to soil erosion due to that fast flow. We then have embankments, and these are raised banks or walls built along the sides of a river, and they act as a barrier to prevent floodwater from spilling onto the surrounding land. The benefits of this is that obviously it can contain floodwaters, which protects nearby properties. It's usually in urban areas too. It's cost effective as embankments are cheaper to build compared to other flood prevention methods, such as dams or flood relief channels, and they can also be modified or extended if needed. However, the costs are that it requires regular maintenance to ensure they don't fail, which can be expensive. People would also argue it gives a false sense of security in case an embankment does fail, um, and it can also cause local floods too. The last one we've got then is a flood relief channel. This is an artificial channel which is built to divert excess water away. So you can see in the picture here, you've got an extra almost river at the side of the main river, and this helps to reduce the flow of water in that main river, especially in urban areas, which decreases the risk of flooding. You can manage large volumes of water during times of heavy rainfall or river overflow, and it obviously reduces the risk of flooding in densely populated areas. However, in terms of costs, it may disrupt local wildlife and it can be very expensive because you're essentially building a whole new river channel. Now, if we look through these advantages and disadvantages, because we need to break these down in order to be able to revise them, we can see common themes coming up. So obviously the main benefit is that they all prevent flooding. Some of them will have different niches. So for example, improving navigation or renewable energy. But they also do have similar disadvantages, mainly disrupting ecosystems, think of the environmental impact, and also expense. I suppose the only one really is embankments, but they're still expensive. They're just the cheapest option of them. So in case you can't remember these specifics, which I should hope you can, but if you can't, take these four things away from it and apply it to an exam question.